Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard. Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard.
Welcome back to Dissertation in 90 Days, the podcast dedicated to helping you navigate the complex journey of completing your dissertation. I'm Dr. J, your host, and today we're diving into one of the most crucial aspects of your dissertation research, data collection. Data collection is the backbone of your dissertation. It's how you gather the evidence needed to answer your research questions and support your hypotheses. Whether you're conducting surveys, interviews, experiments, or archival research, the way you collect your data will directly impact the quality and credibility of your study. In this episode, we'll explore different data collection methods, discuss strategies for ensuring the reliability and validity of your data, and provide tips for overcoming common challenges in the data collection process. Whether you're just starting to plan your data collection or you're in the thick of it, this episode will equip you with the tools you need to gather reliable and relevant information for your dissertation. Let's get started. Let's start by discussing the different types of data collection methods you might consider for your dissertation. The method you choose will largely depend on your research question, your discipline, and the resources available to you. Broadly speaking, data collection methods can be divided into two categories: qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative data collection involves gathering numerical data that can be analyzed statistically. This type of data is often used in the social sciences, natural sciences, and business studies, where researchers are interested in measuring variables and identifying patterns or correlations. Common quantitative data collection methods include surveys, experiments, and observational studies. Surveys are one of the most popular methods for collecting quantitative data. They allow you to gather information from a large number of respondents relatively quickly and cost-effectively. Surveys can be administered in various ways, including online, by phone, or in person. When designing a survey, it's important to carefully consider the wording of your questions, the response options you provide, and the overall structure of the survey to ensure that you're collecting reliable and valid data. Experiments are another common method for collecting quantitative data, particularly in the sciences. In an experiment, you manipulate one or more variables to observe their effect on another variable. Experiments are powerful because they allow you to establish cause and effect relationships, but they also require careful planning and control to ensure that your results are valid. If you're conducting an experiment, you'll need to think carefully about your experimental design, including how you'll control for confounding variables and how you'll ensure that your results are generalizable. Observational studies involve collecting data by observing and recording behavior or phenomena as they occur naturally. This method is often used in fields like sociology, anthropology, and psychology, where researchers are interested in studying behavior in its natural context. Observational studies can be either structured or unstructured. In a structured observational study, you have a clear plan for what you'll observe and how you'll record your observations. In an unstructured observational study, you take a more flexible approach, allowing the data to emerge as you observe. On the other hand, qualitative data collection involves gathering non-numerical data, such as words, images, or objects, that can be analyzed thematically. Qualitative methods are often used in the humanities, social sciences, and education, where researchers are interested in understanding complex phenomena, exploring meanings, and gaining in-depth insights. Common qualitative data collection methods include interviews, focus groups, and content analysis. Interviews are a popular qualitative data collection method that involves asking participants open-ended questions to gather in-depth information. Interviews can be structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. In a structured interview, you ask each participant the same set of questions in the same order, which allows for easy comparison between responses. In a semi-structured interview, you have a set of guiding questions, but allow for flexibility in how the conversation unfolds. This approach can lead to richer data, as participants have the freedom to explore topics that are important to them. In an unstructured interview, you take an even more flexible approach, allowing the conversation to flow naturally without a predetermined set of questions. Focus groups involve gathering a small group of people to discuss a specific topic or issue. The interaction between participants can generate rich data as they build on each other's ideas and experiences. Focus groups are particularly useful for exploring complex issues, understanding group dynamics, and generating new ideas. However, they can be challenging to manage, and the data can be more difficult to analyze compared to individual interviews. Content analysis is a method used to analyze textual, visual, or audio material. This might involve analyzing documents, social media posts, photographs, or videos to identify patterns, themes, or trends. Content analysis can be either qualitative or quantitative, depending on your approach. In qualitative content analysis, you're interested in understanding the deeper meaning of the content and the context in which it was produced. In quantitative content analysis, you're more focused on counting the frequency of certain words, phrases, or themes. Once you've chosen your data collection method, the next step is to ensure that your data is reliable and valid. Reliability refers to the consistency of your data. If you were to repeat your study, would you get the same results? Validity refers to the accuracy of your data. Are you measuring what you intend to measure? Ensuring reliability and validity is crucial for the credibility of your research. To improve reliability, you can use standardized procedures for data collection. This means following the same steps for each participant or data point to reduce variability. For example, if you're conducting interviews, use the same set of questions and follow the same protocol for each interview. If you're administering a survey, make sure that all participants receive the same instructions and that the survey is delivered in a consistent format. To enhance validity, you'll want to ensure that your data collection instruments, whether they're surveys, interview guides, or observation protocols, are well designed and appropriate for your research question. This might involve pilot testing your instruments with a small group before conducting your full study to identify any issues or biases that need to be addressed. Additionally, consider using triangulation, which involves using multiple methods or sources of data to cross-check your findings. For example, you might combine survey data with interview data to get a more complete picture of your research topic. Ethical considerations are also paramount when collecting data, especially when working with human participants. This includes obtaining informed consent, ensuring confidentiality, and minimizing any potential harm to participants. Always follow the ethical guidelines established by your institution and seek approval from your Institutional Review Board, IRB, before beginning data collection. It's important to be transparent with your participants about what the study involves, how their data will be used, and what measures are in place to protect their privacy. Now let's address some of the common challenges you might face during data collection and how to overcome them. One challenge is participant recruitment, getting enough people to participate in your study. To overcome this, consider reaching out to participants through multiple channels, such as social media, community organizations, or professional networks. Offering incentives, such as gift cards or participation in a raffle, can also help increase response rates. Another challenge is Data quality. In some cases, participants might provide incomplete or inaccurate responses, or there might be technical issues with your data collection instruments. To mitigate these risks, pilot testing your instruments and providing clear instructions to participants can help ensure that you're collecting high-quality data. Additionally, conducting regular checks on your data as you collect it can help you identify and address any issues early on. Data management is another critical aspect of the data collection process. As you gather data, it's important to have a system in place for organizing and storing it. This might involve creating a database or spreadsheet where you can easily track and manage your data. Make sure to back up your data regularly to avoid any losses due to technical failures. Lastly, remember that data collection is an iterative process. You might find that you need to adjust your methods or instruments as you go along based on the data you're collecting. Stay flexible and be prepared to make changes if necessary to ensure that you're gathering the most reliable and relevant information for your study. Let's also talk about the importance of pilot studies in data collection. A pilot study is essentially a small-scale version of your main study that you conduct before the full data collection begins. The purpose of a pilot study is to test your data collection methods and identify any potential problems before they arise in the full study. For example, a pilot study can help you determine whether your survey questions are clear and whether your interview protocol is effective. It can also help you estimate how long data collection will take and what resources you'll need. Conducting a pilot study allows you to refine your data collection instruments and procedures, ensuring that your main study runs smoothly. It can also give you confidence in your methods, knowing that they've been tested and refined. While a pilot study requires additional time and effort, it's often well worth it for the benefits it provides in terms of data quality and reliability. Another key consideration in data collection is sampling. Your sample is the group of participants from whom you'll collect data, and it's important to ensure that your sample is representative of the population you're studying. There are different sampling methods you can use, depending on your research question and the nature of your study. Probability sampling methods, such as random sampling, ensure that every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected, which helps to minimize bias. Non-probability sampling methods, such as convenience sampling, involve selecting participants based on their availability or willingness to participate. While non-probability sampling can be easier and more cost-effective, it may introduce bias. So it's important to consider how this might affect your results. Let's also delve deeper into triangulation. Triangulation isn't just about using multiple methods. It's about ensuring the robustness of your findings. By approaching your research question from different angles, you can cross-verify the information and reduce the likelihood of bias. For example, if you're studying the impact of a new teaching method, you might use a combination of surveys, classroom observations, and interviews with students and teachers. Each method provides a different perspective, and together they give you a more comprehensive understanding of the teaching method's effectiveness. In some cases, you might also use mixed methods research, which involves combining both qualitative and quantitative data collection techniques in a single study. Mixed methods can provide a more nuanced understanding of your research question, allowing you to explore different aspects of the phenomenon you're studying. For example, you might use quantitative data to identify patterns or trends, and then use qualitative data to explore the underlying reasons or explanations for those patterns. As you collect data, it's also important to be aware of the potential for researcher bias. Researcher bias occurs when the researcher's expectations, beliefs, or preferences influence the data collection process, leading to skewed results. To minimize bias, try to remain as objective as possible throughout the data collection process. This might involve using blinding techniques where the researcher doesn't know which participants are in which groups, or employing peer debriefing, where you discuss your data collection methods with a colleague to identify any potential biases. Finally, don't underestimate the importance of reflective practice in data collection. Reflective practice involves regularly taking time to think critically about your data collection process, what's working well, what challenges you're facing, and what you might need to adjust. This can be done through journaling, discussing your work with a mentor or peer, or simply setting aside time each week to review your progress. Reflective practice helps you stay attuned to the nuances of your research and ensures that you're continually improving your methods as you go along. And that wraps up today's episode on mastering data collection for your dissertation. Collecting reliable and relevant data is a crucial step in building a strong foundation for your research, and by carefully selecting your methods, ensuring reliability and validity, and navigating the challenges that come with data collection, you'll be well on your way to producing a dissertation that makes a meaningful contribution to your field. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Dissertation in 90 Days. I hope you found these insights helpful as you plan and conduct your data collection. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. Share this podcast with your fellow grad students who might also benefit from these strategies. And as always, I encourage you to connect with our Grad Mentor Network for more resources and support. Remember, the quality of your data directly impacts the quality of your dissertation, so take the time to do it right. Until next time, keep striving for excellence in your research. I'm Dr. J, signing off. Goodbye.